Hey, welcome back to the channel, and back to this work in progress custom action base for the RG Tallgeese anime version. I just want to give a quick work in progress update about where I'm at and how it's all coming together. This is sort of step 2 where I'm picking out detail, painting it, trying to come up with a idea, philosophy behind this piece, and ultimately what I settled on is this is sort of a piece of the hangar or ship hull where the Tallgeese is coming into land or take off, either one. A place that has some maintenance ongoing, perhaps is even unfinished, but definitely part of like a larger ship, and I'll probably go with a hangar bay. I have some pretty detailed plans down the road, but at least for this step I wanted to show sort of an incomplete update. The colors that I've selected, you know, it's a balance of using the Tallgeese itself as a color guide inspiration, and then also trying to work in a little bit of sort of pragmatic, practical detail with the wires here, the piping, etc. I have a few more details I want to pick out, a lot more panel lining to do, and a lot of smoothing, especially in this gold or whatever sort of bronze color this is. You know, I've chosen to go with a few more colors. I think last time I talked about how this initial setup of the spray primer and the action base, which I think is an action base 5, they were about $8 if you started with nothing. I've used quite a few colors here, so acquiring all those colors is probably $50 worth, but you can of course, you know, take it just one step beyond the white primer and just pick up like a nice metallic gray or gold or whatever you want, and just pick out some piping, etc., and be done. And you don't need to do any panel lining, you don't need to do anything else. That'll probably cost you an additional $5, including a brush, for that acrylic paint. But I wanted to sort of go a little bit further. I also have a lot of stuff on hand, so it's not really great to compare how much it would cost if you started with nothing. But I really wanted to show what you can do by picking out just a few sections, giving them a little bit of personality, a little flavor. And again, this is very early on. I'm probably 40-50% done with just this phase, and the project as a whole I'm probably only in the 20-25% range, and that's being generous. But I just wanted to show like what was inspiring it, where it was headed. I have a bunch of plans for this, several more steps, but at each phase I'm going to show off like this is where we started, this is where we end, and give kind of a mid-range update. Also wanted to show the difference. Last time I had a action base that didn't have any detail on it. This is from the master grade red frame, or stray red frame, however you say it. Has a lot of the similar detail, unpainted obviously, still on the sprue, but I kind of wanted to show a close representation of what a difference just doing a little bit of spray paint, and you can ignore the vast majority of the colors, just imagine it with one color, how much that makes it pop. Because eventually I want to get into making full dioramas, but that is a whole skill set that I haven't had time to learn or practice or perfect. And this is a way of, for me, of learning a new technique, a new skill, and applying a bit of my creativity, a bit of my imagination to a kit that I love, which obviously it's a P-Bandai kit, so you have to love it to even jump through those hoops. But hoping this kind of gives people some inspiration. That's like, okay, you start building kits, and then there's the whole painting, which I'm actually doing my first one now. And I'll bring it in, and maybe I can get it into frame. Turn it sideways. So we're working on this bad boy right now. But moving from straight builds to builds with a little bit of detail, panel lining and weathering, to then full painting, and then the next jump seems to be kind of dioramas. and there doesn't seem to be or at least I haven't found too many sort of intermediate steps. And for me, customizing an action base in this way is that intermediate step where I don't have to invest hundreds and hundreds of dollars into new equipment, new tools, resins, clays, etc., while also learning all those techniques. It's overwhelming for a new hobbyist. So sort of hoping to show people a different take on action bases, so they're not just an afterthought. Even if all you do is just give it a single spray paint, any color, I think it vastly improves it. But even just picking out some details, if you stopped here, granted I need to smooth the colors, but if you stopped here, it would really add a lot to your Gunpla. So anyway, thanks for swinging by the channel. Hopefully I have more regular updates for you depending on work. If you like it, give me a like, subscribe, not because I need them, but more just so you stay up to date. Anyway, thanks again, and we'll talk soon.